Let's now cross live to Ibrahim Al-Assil, who was a leading Syrian activist in the aftermath of the Arab Spring and is now also a senior fellow at the Middle East Institute in Washington, D.C., where he focuses on great power competition in the Middle East. Thank you very much for your time here on Newsday. I'll get straight to it. It's the Syrian president's first visit to China in a very long time. How important is this meeting for both countries?
Thank you very much for having me. It's probably more important for China than it's actually for Syria, if we look at it from the global politics perspective. Assad, of course, needs any kind of help that he can get to regenerate his global legitimacy. But also, it's clear that China is trying to challenge the American-led world order by inviting somebody who has committed over a decade multiple crimes against humanity, killed over 500,000 civilians inside Syria, and displaced millions of refugees in the region and in other places around the world. So those Syrians are still suffering, and this trip will not make their lives better. But I think this comes as a very interesting time where China is trying to assert itself on the global stage as a competitor with the United States, and also at the same time is trying to increase its influence in the region, in the Middle East. And of course, Syria is a place where it can show that influence and can try to find new opportunities where it can capitalize on.
And Ibrahim, in your opinion, how will the West be watching these developments?
Unfortunately, over the last few months, we haven't seen a strong response from the Biden administration, if we're talking about the United States in particular. The Biden administration early on said that they will put the human rights at the center of their foreign policy. But since then, Assad has been welcomed back to the Arab League in the region, and the Biden administration chose not to enforce any of the sanctions that the American Congress has passed in that regards. I doubt that we will see anything beyond statements when it comes to Assad's visits to China. But of course, in the region, it will be read as another sign and indicator that the United States' influence on the global stage and in the region, in the Middle East, is decreasing.
Very quickly, before we wrap up, Ibrahim, is there a sense that Assad might be close to getting rehabilitated, considering everything you've said?
It's very difficult for him to actually to do that. Over the last couple of weeks, we've seen a new wave of protests inside Syria, even within those areas held by the regime. So the regime lacks loyalty and legitimacy and economy and reforms inside Syria. So no matter how much their international backers, Russia and China, try to rehabilitate him, he's not going to be able to be the president of Syria again, the way he was prior to 2011.
All right. Appreciate your time, Ibrahim. Thank you very much.